That I am so thankful for the beautiful job that the Kathleen and Beth and the rest of the committee did with the incredible arrangements. They are just marvelous, and they're I'm gonna cry, so I'm gonna but I am just blown away, I really am. And then also for the trust that each of you has placed in me as president for the next 2 years. There's an old Chinese proverb that says, "He who plants garden plants happiness." So I got to thinking of the reasons that I garden, and I want to share those with you. One of them is the beauty that it brings to my yard. It's a feast for my eyes and it feeds my soul. And so that's one of the reasons that I love to garden. Another is that it brings me such joy to see the plants, the flowers, the trees that I've planted and nurtured actually grow. I put in some caladium bulbs that were like, I found them and they were maybe 2 or 3 years old. And I just stuck them in a pot, 2 pots, and they came back. They were beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And then finally, it's the camaraderie that I feel with each of you, my fellow gardeners, as we share our gardening stories and the things that we do for our community. So those are reasons I love to garden. Then I got to thinking about the things that I've learned as a gardener. The garden has taught me patience, somewhat. I'm still working on that. Industry, and also it teaches me a trust, and that trust is in the process of life. Because in the garden you see that whole process going on over and over and over again. It also is good for my health and fitness as I bend and stoop and tug and lift. And it's out in the open air, so it gives you a chance to get out and actually touch the dirt, which is very magical in my opinion. And then whenever I'm wearied by the world, seeing too much on the news or read too many things in the paper and I'm wearied, I go out to my garden and it truly nourishes my soul. My father, who was a very pragmatic, practical man, and sometimes a little on the rough side, loved to garden. And after Dad died, in his papers, I was surprised to find a poem that he had written about the garden. And he's not the kind that would be very poetic, so it was especially moving to me to find this poem, and I'd like to read it to you as I close. The poem is entitled Garden Reverie, and it goes, "Under the warming springtime sun, my gardening work had been well begun. I tilled the soil, pulled the weeds, put in the ground bulbs, the seeds. With sun streaming down upon my face, I chose for myself a shady place. Cooling beneath a broad oak tree, my mind soon filled with reverie. I thought of good friends I have made, of loved ones in the soothing shade, the garden where time is no more, a haven for my thoughts to soar."